Sometimes you walk yourself into jobs that you just don't expect. I haven't done brakes in a vehicle in a long time. Haven't done brakes in a new car ever. The newest vehicle I've got is an '04. So yeah, nothing was really crazy back then. This GMC is a 2022 push button start. Got all the little bells and whistles inside. Absolutely comfortable, cozy. One of those fall asleep while you're driving kind of vehicles. Wanted to do all 4 brakes. So okay, let's do it the old school way. Front brakes shouldn't be that bad, you would think. Was not expecting 4 piston calipers on the front brakes. Yeah, that was a little surprising. So I loosen it all up. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, get in here, grab the flashlight, and this isn't one of those slide the piston over and compress the brakes kind of things. I was figuring it was. Didn't know what I was really getting into. So before you dive into things, always look at what you're getting into, look what's going on, see if it's something you can even do. Towards the end of the video, we're playing with the rear brakes. The rear brakes needed the whole system to be in brake service mode. Once you get it in brake service mode, it'll back off the emergency brake and you can collapse the pistons. I didn't know that until Jake came over the next day with a video and said, watch this. He fought with the computer in the truck for about 15 minutes before he actually got it into a brake service mode, and we did manage to quickly and easily get the rear brakes done. It was really simple once you get it into the brake service mode. Wasn't aware there was a brake service mode. Didn't know there were service modes on these new cars. Don't know much about these new cars, but I will definitely be that guy on TikTok that will sit there and talk a bunch of smack, not knowing what he's talking about. But I know what I was talking about, not realizing that modern day is not like the days of old. These new cars have so many sensors and blips and weird stuff on them. I didn't expect the sensor to be in the gap of the brake pads. Yup. New cars have a little plastic sensor. It goes down into the gap of the brake pads. So when the pads wear down to a certain point, it contacts the rotor and sends something to the computer saying, hey, you need brake pads. Wasn't aware that was a thing. Did see somebody say something about these GMCs having 1 or 2 inner calipers that are kind of sticky. This one did have 1 inner caliper that was a little bit sticky in the back. Front calipers perfectly fine. Everything was good. Everything looked good. Did the old clamp trick. There is 2 pins. You pop the little clips out of the pins. You slide the pins out. The brakes fall right out in the hole. Really, really simple. There's a spring clip that goes on the top that holds pretty much everything together and holds the pads apart. So here we are pulling the little clips off. I'm going to get the clips off, and then we can pull the pins. Got C-clamps on the brake pads. The C-clamps, you just slowly squeeze them in, and the pads collapse. Really, really simple, just like old school cars. Front calipers with single or double pistons. That's why I didn't think their back brakes were going to be any different. Front brakes, okay, they were a little bit more upgraded and beefy, which, okay, dude hauls a skid steer around in a dump trailer. He needs beefy brakes. They might look beefy, but the pads are like not that big, and everything else in them is really not that impressive. It's just the calipers look really, really huge. I don't understand the concept or the theory, but then again, I'm not an engineer for these modern things. If I was, we'd be back in the 60s again playing with carburetors. But once you get the C-clamps off, you can drop the pads out, get the new pads, put the new pads in, make sure the one pad has the spot for the depth indicator. There is a left and a right pad, or an inside and an outside pad, so make sure you put the pads in the correct way. Once you get the pads in, you slide the little stay pins in place about halfway through. You see me fighting with the pads a little bit. They don't always go easy. You slide the pin in, hold the front brake pad in, Put both pins in. And then we have a spring separator that goes right up in top. Now the trick is it's got little wings on it. The little wings go in the holes. And then you push the tabs down and pull them out so that you can push the pin through it. It's a little bit tricky, not too bad. Sometimes takes a couple of fingers, but as you can see, a couple of fingers, slide it in. Once it gets halfway through, you're golden. Lift up the other pad, do both sides, and then get it through the back pad. Lift up the back pad, line the hole up. The hole might be off a little bit, so you're going to have to pull on the peg, get it to line up with the hole. Nothing is ever easy on these things. Nothing's ever going to just fall apart and slap back together. I'm starting to learn that on these newer cars, and I am really glad I am not a car mechanic. I will stick to motorcycles and custom fabrication and race bikes. I don't want to play in a car shop. I don't want to be a car mechanic. No mo. I'll play with the old tuner cars, old muscle cars, stuff like that. Sure, no problem. Anytime. These new ones? Nah. Shops don't want to pay you enough. The shops charge way more than they should. And then they don't pay their mechanics. And then they wonder why they have crap mechanics. Well, when I was in the Yamaha shop back in mid-90s, I was making 45% commission, 10% parts. That was almost half of what the shop rate is. There is not a shop on this planet that I can think of that will give you 50% shop rate, except me. You're going to be working in my shop? Yeah, I'll give you 50% shop rate. I have no problem paying you half of what you make me. That is not a problem whatsoever. I'm not greedy. It's your pocket. You want to make the money? By all means, have at it. Oh, and by the way, no, we're not hiring. My eyesight's getting old, getting bad. Dark spots make it hard to see. Flashlights definitely help. I've seen so many mechanics around with the headlights and stuff like that. Yeah, the headlights are a very good idea. The little sticky magnetic lights are somewhat of a good idea. There's a lot more non-magnetic surfaces on these new cars than there used to could be. Get everything all cranked back down. Get it all tightened back up. Go to the other side. Break it all loose. Put the ratchet on there. Whack it with a hammer. Bolts should pop loose. And then they should thread out really simply. These are brakes. Nothing should be hard. The threads should go in smooth and easy. Got a nice little backside shot for you so you can see what it looks like from the inside the fender well. But yeah, everything should go pretty smooth and easy. There shouldn't be any burrs or hang-ups or anything like that. While we got the caliper still on this side because we learned from the first one, pop all the pegs, pull all the pins, get everything out of the way while it's still kind of held up by the bracket and a bolt, or at least the rotor. Keep things very simple. Make things very easy on yourself. We're looking for low stress, quick, fast jobs. Just grab something, tap them little pegs through. They'll pop out the other side. Don't think twice about it. Just grab onto them and snatch them out. Once you got them all out, get the last bolt out. I was saying how they should unthread really easily. If you've got the caliper hanging from a bolt, it will not make it very easy. You got to relieve the pressure off the bolt. And you get in there with a little mini pry bar, pull it off, lay it down, make it so that it doesn't fall. You don't want these things to fall and hang from the hose. I have seen hoses rip. Bad things happen if the caliper falls off and dangles by the hose. Not always, but you don't want to chance it. Once you get the clamps all situated, you just get it on there. It'll start to close up. As soon as you got pressure on both sides, using the old pads, not the new pads. Always use the old pads. And once you got some pressure on both sides, you grab clamps with both hands, and it's twisty until they're collapsed. Watch the boots. Everything should go into itself like an accordion. When it's all flat and flush with the housing, you're done. No point in cranking on it even harder. If you crank on it too much, you're risking cracking the actual caliper and the housing, the little spot where all the fluid sits. Yep, you can crack those. I've seen it happen. That is what you call a bad day. Apparently I didn't pull the pins all the way out. Not quite sure what's going on here. I did this job a little while ago. I finally got to getting this stuff off the phone. Trying to get it all assembled for you guys. Life's been really crazy with the holiday season. I hope you guys have had a good holiday season and a safe new year. Been having all kinds of fun around the shop. All kinds of fun in the house. Doing all kinds of different things. So busy around here. Sitting there looking at the video going, what are we doing? Oh, we're doing brake reassembly. We're there already. It's just that fast. Didn't realize pulling the pins out was actually making it that much faster to slap them back in. But yep, here we are. Got the pads in, the pins in. We got to put the little spacer in there. For some reason, we seem to be having a little brain fart on what's going on. Either that or it doesn't want to behave properly. Not quite sure. We're going to have to zoom in a little bit and see. But once we get everything all lined up, it should all go back together just like the other side. Put the pegs in, slide them in, put the little clips on the ends of them, turn around, stick the caliper back on, bolt it down, tighten it up. We're ready to put wheels on. Now, I am kind of old, so I've got like an old school trick for tires. I don't ever try and lift those things up and get them aligned. I almost always end up sitting down. I stick my legs underneath it, Indian style, and I will close my legs and lift the tire up with my legs and my hands. Get everything all lined up, turn around, get all the lug nuts on it, and zip it all in place. I always put the lug nuts on one at a time, or not one at a time, but thread them on one at a time by hand before we put them on with a gun. I've seen so many lug nuts cross-threaded because people just zip them on with a gun. No, always just thread them on a couple of threads by hand and be done with it. A little bit of zip on the other side. Get it all buttoned up. We are going to go back and make sure that they're all torqued and tight. But after we get this tire on, we're going to start pulling the back wheel off. Get that all set up and show you guys what's going on with the back wheel. Because it looks like it's really simple, but there's an electric servo that goes in the back side of the caliper that makes it so that it is not as simple as you would seem. Now, it does look pretty basic except for this monstrosity of a big servo. A big old electric motor sitting on the back side of that caliper. One of the dudes said take the motor off. So we took the motor off a couple of different times. Said don't unplug it, just take the motor off. Now, I did see something inside that looked like you could stick like a screwdriver in there and unwind the caliper piston, but I did not want to even attempt that. Didn't want to mess anything up. There, the servo is off. We're open, and you can see there is a hole back there, and you might be able to stick something in there and get it to unthread, but I'm not going to do that. So we put it all back together. And like I said, Jake turned around the next day, came over with some videos, and we got it all right. I don't know how to do the back brakes. I couldn't get the piston to collapse. I don't have a power probe. I don't have a scanner. I don't have any of that stuff. And I tried taking it apart a few different ways, and I don't know. It's beyond me. I'm not a car mechanic anymore. And these new ones apparently are a lot more complicated than I was expecting. You live and learn.